Go.
Dear friends, hello. I'm happy to be with you in order to try to discuss, to talk about the problems which are here in our dear but bumpy planet Earth. La Fontaine wrote in his fable that depending on whether you are powerful or strong or weak, the justice of the court will render you white or black. Let us not indulge ourselves in naivety. Yeah, we are thankful that we thank South Africa for having brought Israel to the ICJ. But we are not naive, because ICJ or ICC are all the same things for us. There are courts which are here in order to defend Western interests. The ICJ is a Western court. Its composition is disproportionate. There are far more Western judges than judges from other parts of the world. And they are there in order to and the ICJ is located in The Hague. The Hague is a town in the Netherlands, which is another Western country. The ICC is also over there, but they are the same. They are not here in order to tell that the West is wrong. They're always judging that the rest is right. Let us not be fooled by any kind of naivety. The problem over there in Palestine, it's not the ICJ which will solve it. No, even if the ICJ, already Netanyahu has gone to an Israeli TV in order to tell to the Israeli people that no one can stop the military operation in Gaza or in the West Bank. No one, they said, even the Hague, meaning the ICJ, can't stop Israel from conducting its heinous genocidal campaign in Gaza and in the West Bank. Since 1948, Israel has been oppressing, terrorizing, killing, torturing Palestinians. Many Palestinians are refugees in other countries now. In Syria, in Lebanon, in Jordan and in other countries. The ICJ is here, but the ICJ didn't take any decision in order to stop Israel committing crimes against humanity, which Israel has been committing since 1948. You are going to tell me that nobody brought a case against Israel at the ICJ. If the ICJ is here in order to wait for a country to bring a case against another country, that means that ICJ is of no use for us. It's of no use for people of the third world, of the global south. These courts are here in order to uphold Western interest. be it the ICJ, be it the ICC, be it the World Trade Organization, all are the same. With the World Trade Organization, if a country signs a contract with a Western firm, and if this country, this Western, this Southern, let us say, this African country wants to change the contract, this country will be losing, because there are many penalties which they will make it pay. Many hundreds, if not $1 billion, in order for it not to try to change an iota in the contract that it signed with the Western firms. The World Trade Organization, the rules which are in the World Trade Organizations are Western rules. Those rules are there to defend, in order to defend Western enterprises, Western firms. They are not there in order to protect any country of the global south. They are there in order to protect Western private enterprises. Western private enterprises are stronger than countries of the global south. Even if all the African countries, even if all the African countries went to the ICJ to demand reparation for the slave trade, which has ravaged Western Africa, which has made Africa lose millions of working force of its people who went to the Americas to be exploited there, to work there as slaves. Africa would never be granted reason by the ICJ. The slave trade was here an heinous and hideous crime against humanity. But they're here to say, for speeches. The Western leaders will be making speeches. Slavery is a crime against humanity. But they'll never pay reparations for the slavery, for the slave trade. They colonized Africa. They colonized all the countries of the south. They've been stealing all the wealth of those countries during the colonization and even after the colonization. They have stolen all the raw materials from the south, global south countries. They killed many people. They created poverty in the global south. But they'll never pay for the poverty that they have created in the global south. They'll never pay for the people they have tortured or killed in the global south during all the colonization era. So let us be serious and let us not invest too much hope on the ICJ or on the ICC on the ICC. They are the same. ICJ, ICC, World Trade Organizations are the same things. They'll never grant reason to countries of the global south. They've shown it times and time again. The ICC didn't hesitate when they saw that Vladimir Putin committed crimes when he moved youngsters from Ukraine to Russia. And he moved those youngsters from Ukraine to Russia in order to protect them. But Khan, the one who is the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, he didn't hesitate. He indicted Vladimir Putin and another one. But all those horrible crimes which Israel has been committing for more than 3 months now have been documented by many Western organizations like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Oxfam, and even all the UN agencies. Médecins Sans Frontières, all those agencies documented the horrible crimes that Israel has been committing in the West, in Gaza. But nobody in the ICC didn't try to indict Benjamin Netanyahu or the members of his far-right government. The ICC is an idol. Crimes are being committed at a huge scale, but the ICC is idle. If America has wanted, if the United States has wanted, it would have stopped Israel. It would have forbidden it from committing the genocide in Gaza. But America will never interrupt the genocide which is committed by Israel in Gaza and in the West Bank. We've seen their reaction. America and the West, they called themselves guardians of prosperity, and they've been attacking Yemen. They have bombed already twice Yemen in order to compel the Houthis to give up trying to hamper circulation of ships towards the Red Sea and the Suez Canal and toward Israel. They used their bombs, their missiles in order to bomb the Houthis. They didn't hesitate. Israel must have all the goods it imports from Asia or from Europe. But the Palestinians can be killed every day in their thousands now. But that doesn't disturb Joe Biden, that doesn't disturb Kirby, that doesn't disturb Blinken, that doesn't disturb those who are in the United States. So we sincerely praise and thank those resistance who were fighting. The resistance fighters were there in Gaza, in Lebanon, were fighting against the Israelis, the Hezbollah, the Ansar al-Islam, the Houthis, who were fighting against the Israelis, because it's only by the guns that this genocidal situation will be resolved. The ICJ won't solve it, the ICC won't solve it, United Nations won't solve it. It's only the guns which can solve it and which are going to solve it. We praise the resistance fighters who are in Gaza, who are fighting and attacking Israeli army in Gaza, who are killing and injuring many soldiers every day. Even if the Israeli army or Israeli government refuses to give the exact numbers of those who have been attacked or killed or injured in Gaza, we know that they want to be doing it. But if people think that there is another way of overcoming the situation of Gaza which is not the way of the guns. They are being delusional. We praise those resistance fighters because it's the only way. As used to say Bob Marley, that's the only way we'll overcome this struggle. It's only by the arms that this genocidal situation will be ended. It's only by the guns that this genocidal situation will be ended. And Hamas has understood that since more than 12 years, since the last operation of the Israeli army inside Gaza. They know that the only way to overcome this abhorrent situation is to get ready for a decisive strike, for a decisive fight. They've been buying arms, they've been forming their fighters, and now they are battling the Israeli army. And they'll be succeeding. Hezbollah also will be succeeding. They say that we're in the 21st century. Which 21st century? In the 21st century, we see a country which has been since 1948 oppressing, subjugating, killing, torturing millions of Palestinians. And everyone knows that. The hypocritical Western media knows that these kind of things have been taking place since 1948, but they didn't say anything because they all depend on the subsidies of the pro-Israeli lobbies. They've been criticizing China, Russia, other people, Iran, Syria. But whenever you're an ally of the West, no, there is no criticism which will be thrown at you. You're alright, you're a kind of guy, you're a good boy. This is how the West has been ruling this country, this world since the 14th century, the 15th century, the 15th century. They've been invading, killing Native Americans in the American continent. They've decimated Native Americans in the American continent. They've colonized Africa. They've imposed the slave trade. They've colonized Asia. They killed hundreds of millions of people. The Western countries are the ones who produced those horrible conflicts, which are the First World War and the Second World War, where tens of millions of people, when tens of millions of people have been killed. They are not here to give us any lessons because they are the one who should be on the dock to be condemned for all the crimes they've been committing for more than 7 centuries now. They are not here in order to teach us lessons. Their justice, their laws are not good for us. We shouldn't be fooled into believing into the ICC, which is a Gambian government 10 years ago said that it is the International Caucasian Court. They were right. The ICJ is the same thing, the same utterance. World Trade Organization, the same thing. The West is here in order to protect the few rich and Western countries don't hesitate in order to massacre the huge majority of the poor, because they are here in order to protect, to help the few 1% rich, and the great majority of people over the West, be it in the United States or in Western Europe, the great majority of the population are living in poverty. But that doesn't disturb Western governments. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Republicans, Democrats, they are all the same, the two sides of the same coin. Donald Trump is not better than Joe Biden, and Joe Biden is no better than Trump. In the Western, in England, the Labour Party and the Tories are the same. Keir Starmer has defended the Western aggression against Yemen. When he was asked to call for ceasefire, he said that no, he wants to be calling for ceasefire. He even threatened members of the Labour Party, the deputies, threatening them and telling them not to vote for the ceasefire. That is Keir Starmer. Yeah, he is eager to defend Israel's interest and Israeli interest, but he doesn't matter. He isn't bothered. He isn't disturbed by the thousands and thousands of people, and of young people, of children, of women who have been killed in Gaza or in the West Bank. They are always ready, eager to defend Israel, but for the rest of the whole South, they go to hell. They can go to hell. That doesn't disturb the Americans and the Europeans. These things have to change. We are not here in order to believe in ICJs or ICCs or World Trade Organization. This has to change. We can't be in a world in the 21st century. The West has polluted all the planet and has created this Earth's climate crisis. But they never accept to blame themselves. They never accepted to give money for the reparations for the mitigations to the poor countries. They are not here in order to blame themselves. They are here to do whatever they want to do. And it's up to us to make this change. It's not going to change because Trump will be the next president or Biden will be the same. They are all the same. Trump, be it Biden. They are the same criminals. Be it Macron, be it another one from the Socialist Party in France, or be it those of the kinds of Marine Le Pen. They are all the same. Sunak or Starmer are the two sides of the same coin. People are suffering in the West, all around the world. People are suffering. Poor people are suffering more than ever. But we shouldn't now accept to be lured by those hypocritical leaders who have only one thing which matters for them. It is protecting the interests of the few rich, of the few 1%. If there is a financial crisis in 2024, they'll be rushing in order to print money, in order to help those banks or those financial lords who will have lost their money. But meanwhile, in the US budget, there is nothing for the poor who have no means to pay for medical treatment. The students who have borrowed more than $1 trillion to the banks will be paying it because Joe Biden won't be paying it for them. They mobilized many funds in order to save Silicon Valley Bank, First American Bank, etc. last year. But they can't mobilize funds in order to pay back the debts of the students. They have shown us their hideous and heinous faces. We can't go on continuing to be terrorized, horrified by those kinds of leaders for whom nothing matters more than the interest of the few. So dear friends, bye bye, and I hope that we'll be sharing these videos, you'll be liking and sharing in order to make many more people know this platform, and which we're discussing about the interest of the whole forgotten many poor people of this dear planet Earth. Thank you for listening, and bye.